Do you suspect your spouse of infidelity? Do you think one of your local officials might be taking money from your town? For people in need of a little more information to get their answers, there are companies out there that can get to the bottom of almost every single issue. James Wojnar is the Director of Investigations for Northeastern Investigative Services, and he's here to tell us about how private investigators work. Thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, you're welcome, sir.
So why do people come to private investigators in the first place?
Well, usually there's some type of situation which has happened to them, whether it's they got word from a family member that there's infidelity, or they even need to reunite a family member you never met before.
So it's not always good, it's not always bad stuff, it's sometimes good stuff.
Yeah, it can go either way.
So tell me about the process. Someone suspects infidelity or wants to reunite a family, and what do they do?
Usually they'll call me up and I'll set up a meeting with them, whether it's at my office or at a location somewhere, a coffee shop. Then they'll go over the details, they'll take notes, and we'll go from there. Usually have them sign a retainer agreement to take on the case. Okay,
so and a retainer, can you explain that to everybody?
Well, it's just in order to take on a case, you have to have some type of agreement to make sure that everything goes through well and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how can someone get in touch with you? So you have a website, and how can most people get in touch with private investigators?
Yeah, we have a website, Investigators.avi, and they can Google private investigators online. They can call us up.
So after the initial meeting, can you talk to us about the process? What happens afterwards?
Well, after the meeting, then I'll do like a preliminary investigation about all the information. Then I'll go from there and start the investigation, whether it's a surveillance or whatnot.
So would you say surveillance is the first step from far away, and then?
Yeah, usually it's a surveillance. It's the first step. Then I'll go over whatever I get, and I'll get back to the client, and we'll meet up.
So can you talk about some of the investigations that have worked and haven't worked? What's been your favorite investigation, maybe?
I say the infidelity ones are the ones that work the best for me, and reuniting family members. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I also do an executive protection, where if there's an event going on, I'll make sure that the event's secure and safe. And
really?
Yeah.
That sounds very exciting. So now can you take us through some of the stuff here? We have, because some of this you do, but you can also buy a lot of these things in stores and do it on your own, too.
Right.
So what do we have first?
Right here, this is a video camera.
Ooh, may I?
Yeah, it looks like a key clicker to a car.
It looks exactly like a key clicker. Yeah. And so it's a video camera.
Right.
That's amazing. So is it pretty powerful and whatnot?
Yeah, you can get about 8 hours of video recording onto it, and then.
So what's the quality of something like this? Is it high quality, low quality?
Yeah, it's very high quality, just like a normal video camera.
Wow, this is pretty good. So what's next? Let's say we're spying on our spouse. We put that there. What would you recommend next?
This right here is something would go into a button of a shirt. Like if I was to follow someone into a bar, or you can put it into any device and it'll record.
Huh. So do you find that it's pretty inconspicuous? Have you ever been caught or?
No, it's usually. They have no idea they're being followed in the first place.
So can you talk about being a private investigator? What's it like to kind of be, is it exciting, is it scary? Tell me about like a day in your life.
Well, I would say it's very exciting. It's always different types of situations that I'm getting involved with, and I enjoy it a lot.
And what did you do before this?
Before doing private investigations, I did like private and corporate security work. Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you think it means to the community to have, like, you know, because you were talking earlier about sometimes you can help people whose local officials are embezzling and whatnot. What do you think it means to do what you do?
Well, I think it means a lot to the community. There's a lot of people out there who need the assistance. We do work for attorneys in the area, whether I need to interview a witness or take statements, and especially people who they're looking for their family members, whether they're in California, we go out there, we'll locate them and reunite the people.
Now, would you say your work, have you ever been caught?
Usually in a situation like that, they won't really know you're an investigator. Make up some type of story and you just go along with it.
So at the end, we've all seen the show Cheaters, and at the end of Cheaters, yeah. they take the information to the person who's done. Is that kind of what you do? Well,
it's accurate. You would never bring them to the scene where the person is like that, because it could be a very large liability on the investigator's part. Mm-hmm. If something were to happen.
So what do you do instead?
At the end, I'll meet with the individual, and show them what we got, then they'll go from there, whether they have to go to a court proceeding, and then I'll go there and I'll testify on the information. And
So it's not a lot of confrontations, it's more...
no, not confrontational at all.
So then you don't use these as often as you'd like to?
No. Well, I do some stalking cases too, where on large company owners, they're being stalked by individuals, and then I'll go out and I'll find the subjects.
And do you find that most people are, once they found out the truth, are they happy, are they sad? What is their emotions?
It's a little mixed emotions, but I find in the end that they're sad at first, and they will be happy in the end.
So what I've always wondered is, you take cases like this, because in Cheaters, and I'm sorry I'm basing it all off the show, but it always seems like everyone's guilty and everyone's cheating. What's your percentage rate? Do you find that people are often right in their thoughts?
Yeah, usually they are. Usually they come to us when there's infidelity, or there's questionable infidelity, you know?
So when there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
And lastly, what advice would you give to anyone who's suspecting things? What should they do?
I would always tell them to call the private investigator, just so they can get the peace of mind. They'll figure out what exactly is going on.
Well, James, thank you very much for being on the show today, and I'm sure people feel a lot more confident now. If they need advice, they know to come to you.
Yeah. Thank you.